Let me think of some good ones, man. Yeah, this is tough because there are stories for days. I mean, I guess like the wildest one has to be, and it took place in up in beautiful, peaceful Canada. The wildest tour story I can think of, and it wasn't this long ago. It was probably within the last 8 years, and we were touring Canada, and I happened to be with Twisted and a few of the other fellas. And I think we were in Vancouver area, and this was kind of at the end of the tour because we started somewhere over in Windsor and we rode all the way through. And during the tour, we had, I don't know, it's probably an old game that was recreated, but we started playing quarter bounces off the wall, but it ended up becoming a loony and toony bounce, because we ended up, that's all you can get is loonies and toonies up there. So we were throwing those a lot. And so every day we were scoping out new places to play. And I think we got to Vancouver and they parked us off in the middle of like a back alley, it seemed like. And I remember waking up distinctly and somebody saying, I think they parked us in the wrong spot. And if you go outside the front door, don't look left. And I was like, okay. So we, come to find out later on, because I followed directions, because I've learned from long time ago that when somebody says don't look left, you don't look left. Well, I found out later on that night that if you look left, you might have caught a glimpse of the bums blowing bums that was happening out in front of, right behind the trash dumpster, right, which happened to be in front of the tour bus. And yeah, just some wild shit. And that's, man. So yeah, if you're in Vancouver, make sure they park you outside of the alley, like on a street somewhere. Do not get shoved off in the alley because you might get caught or accosted by some bum who was blowing another bum. Oh man, yeah. And we were on our way back to the States, bro. Like, some of the coolest, craziest shit has happened in the States, obviously. One of the craziest shits that's happened to me, and we talked about this before, about like just touring. And, that was a bus tour I was in because I was out there with Twisted. But I've also been in my fair share of just van touring and touring just the tour, because that's part of, that's what you do. And you're out there, you're working, you're on the move and every day. And sometimes van touring is cooler because you can actually fit into places, then stop to get your actual mail, like fucking dumb shit. So anyway, we were on our way back from the final show of a tour. I think it was drive-by tour. I was out there with Anybody Killah, and we're riding through. I think the last show was in Arizona, and we're riding to somewhere in New Mexico. I believe we're close to Albuquerque, probably 20 miles outside of Albuquerque, and it was 95 miles an hour. My dude's driving. Big Vin Dustin, shout out, much love to you. He's driving the van, and out of nowhere, tire of the van in the back rear comes spitting off, and it just takes off and it passes us. And he looks over to me and he's like, yo, Blaze, what am I supposed to do? The tire just came off. I was like, just fucking get over to the right. He was like, there's a semi there. I was like, get the fuck over. He'll get over. He's seen it. And sure enough, the semi slowed down. I was like, all right, we just pulled that over. Out of the blue, two ninjas just pull over, and they're just like, hey, they put the fire out with a fire extinguisher in their truck. Then they come around, and the dude's like, hey, man, so it's in effect saved everybody's life in the van. I mean, just out the blue, just some crazy shit. So we're there for an extra day, So I'm like, all right, I got to figure out a way to get us home and get this van fixed. It's a Saturday night, of course. The next day, Sunday, and we want to be back in the D. You know what I mean? We should be there. And sure enough, so I find somebody to take the van back. The tow truck driver ends up having a cousin who doesn't speak a lick of English, but he works on cars. So I'm like, all right, whatever. He comes over and he looks at the van and he tells me, I fix. And I was like, okay, how much and when? So my dude tells me, all right, he's like, he needs $100 to get started, and he'll have it done tomorrow at like 6 o'clock. Sure enough, tomorrow runs around, $800 shorter I am. and he has it done, and I'm on my way back to Detroit. So things happen. You just got to handle business, and you just keep it moving, man. Get on the motherfucking wheel. You get your shit done like a businessman, and you get home. For real. Much love to my dude out there, too. I Beaks. He did, too. For real.